Well, hi, hello, and a warm welcome to this video. Today I'm talking about preparing for my Artist Open Studio. I'm going to share 5 top tips to avoid all that overwhelm, that staying up till 2, 3 a.m. the night before and then being really tired on the day. Avoid being stressed and leaving everything to the last minute. Now listen, I know as creatives, likely we're all going to do that anyway, but this year I really decided that due to my health journey, which is something that some of you know and some of you don't know, I didn't want to risk falling apart at the last minute, shall we say. So I've got really prepared, and I thought you might like to know how I've got prepared, what I did. So that's why I'm sharing those 5 top tips. So let me know in the comments what you do. I love, of course, to hear your top tips as well. So give us a shout out, let us know what you find really beneficial in preparing for your artist's open house or open studio. I call it an open studio because that's what they call it here, but actually I've opened up the bottom half of the house. So technically it's an artist's open house. What do you think? My name's Sophie Mahir, and I help artists to make a living from their art or creativity by building a stable, profitable art business doing what they love. And on this channel, I share tips and tricks on all things art business. So if you've landed here and you want to really make a living from your art, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get notified every single time I post a new video. And if you like the content of this one, give me a like as well. That would be really, really helpful. All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty and find out what are those tips that are going to help you avoid the burnout and the overwhelm and all those last-minute items of your open studio. So tip number 1, and some of you might say, hey, I do that anyway, but it's not something I've really done quite to the extent I've done it this time, and that is hang the work at least 2 weeks in advance. And this time I hang most of it to maybe 2, maybe even 3 weeks ago I started. And why should we do this? Well, number 1, it gives you an opportunity to see if you've put it in the right place. And number 2 is, I don't know about you, but hanging it with 24 hours to go, I find very, very stressful. Now, this might depend on your space. If it's your open studio and it's just very, very small, and then you might have to do it more last minute. But we've opened up the house and my partner's kind of really enrolled in the excitement of where to put everything. And so we're just living in a sort of glorious exhibition space, and it's been wonderful. And it's also given me the opportunity to go, maybe that would look better over there. And how are we going to put a light on that one? And it's given a bit more time to actually work out the best placing of everything. So tip number 1, hang well in advance. Tip number 2. Now, when I say signage, you might just think, oh, okay, that's an entry sign and an exit sign. Now, I like to really do signage in a big way. So let me just share with you what I mean by signage. So signage for me is, yes, it's hanging on the doors, the sign that says private, no entry. It's a sign maybe to where the toilet is. It's a sign where the food is going to be, but it's also pricing information, payment plan information. It might be your artist CV. It might be, I've personally got things like print to order, products to order. I've got all these different things, win a print in order to get on the mailing list. All of this stuff needs printing and laminating. And trust me, if you leave it to the last minute, it can be, hair pulling, because the more you think about it, the more you think, well, hold on, wait a minute. When they come to purchase something, then what's happening at the point of sale? Have you got receipts ready? Have you got a purchase agreement for people buying your original art? Have you got those bits of paper that you need? So when I say signage, I kind of mean everything that needs printing. So you're going to walk around the house as if you were a customer or as if you were with a customer. You go around and you think, okay, if they make a purchase, what's the paper trail I need? If they ask to order something, maybe you take commissions. What's the paperwork for a commission? Have you got a commission form ready? Have you got a double copy if you haven't got a photocopier or printer handy? What are all the things that you need? This year I've gone for a catalogue, which means that under each painting and weaving, I need a number. and then there needs to be, the number needs to correspond to the catalogue. And obviously I'm very lucky, I've got Vicky as my business partner. And for those of you who don't know Vicky's my elder daughter, lives in the UK, and she does all this sort of stuff for me, but she still needs to know what to make. I still have to give her all the information. So compiling the catalogue has taken quite a while, but it's done now, right? And we're several days to go, and I have the opportunity to print it and have them standing in a pile ready to go. Everything else is collected and printed and being laminated so that it's ready, so that I'm not running around at the last minute going, oh my God, I need a price ticket for this, or I need a sign for that. So you want to do all your pricing, all your signage, all your bits of paper well in advance. Now I've said here on my tip at least a week in advance, because then you just put it in a folder and it's done, right? And I can tell you the relief when you've got that done is huge. So do it. Write down on your to-do list, here are all the things I need to do, and I'm going to have that done a week. So imagine 2 weeks out, you've got the work hung. A week out, you've got all your paper items done. You can breathe easy, and you might say, well, what is there left to do, Sophie? Well, let's take a look. All right, so number 3 is have what I call a countdown list. So this is going to be imperative, especially if you're doing what I'm doing, which is on Friday, I have a private viewing. So that's a separate little event kind of tacked on the front of the actual event, right? What does the private view entail? That means we need wine, we need glasses to put the wine in, food, somewhere to put the food on, somebody to serve the food and the wine. And then there's, well, what will be available on the night, what won't be available on the night. Now I'm going to do some slightly more advanced things, like I'm going to use my video ability, and I'm actually going to stream to the rest of the world the sort of opening speeches, as it were. We're going to do that on a Facebook Live. So we've got all of the tripod and camera to set up. We need to make sure that all the invites went out weeks ago. So that's all stuff that, you know, that's part of marketing. So how are you going to be doing a private view? Then you really need that list that goes right the way down to the napkins, all right, and the bin liner to put the leftover bits in. Trust me, if you leave those things out, again, it can be very overwhelming when you come to the day. So for me, all the glasses are bought, the wine and the food gets bought the day before, so that's all done. So you can gather by the time we get to Friday, there's not a lot to do. Why? Those last minute things always come up. You know, your PayPal reader perhaps isn't charged or isn't working, or something's fallen off somewhere, or you've spotted a sign that you didn't make, or someone's asked you a question you thought, I actually didn't think about that, how am I going to do that? Or, you know, I need to lay it all out. And by the way, even just setting up for your private view, the wine glasses polished and out, the wine available, somebody to do that, the setup, where's it going to be, new tables, new things, lighting, it's in the evening. For us, it's going to be dark. It's going to be a lighting challenge. So the countdown list has everything on it, so you can go to bed and sleep without thinking, oh, did I remember the bottle opener? We don't need those really anymore, but you know, those last minute things. All right, so tip number 4 has always come into play prior to this year, and that is always allow more time than you think you need. So if you say, okay, I'm going to do all that signage, that'll take me an hour. It'll probably take you all day to work it out, to write it up, to make it look nice, to then print it off, to laminate it, to cut it and to put it up. So, you know, these things always take longer than we think. And I know you're nodding if you're watching this going, oh yeah, okay, I know, I've been doing it. And who here has stayed up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning putting the signage up? And you might say to me, do you know that's part of the buzz, being up late the night before, doing all of that stuff? And you know, I hear you, but at this point in my career, I don't have the energy to stay up till that time of night. I just want to be the best I can possibly be on Friday, and then know that I've got Saturday and Sunday to be with people coming through the door, and we're open to the public. So that's 3 days on the trot, quite a lot of energy required. I don't want to be drained and exhausted. I still want to be buzzy and able to give my very best. All right, so that's tip number 4. So tip number 5 is something I have really struggled with because I'm a bit of a control person. Outsource where possible. Now, as I say, this is great if you've got people around you who are willing to help. I normally say, no, I'm fine, I can do it all myself. But you know what? We don't want to do it all ourselves. Let somebody else help. My partner's hung the paintings. Normally I would do all of that, but I thought, well, what happens if I just allow someone else to get up and down on the ladder, get the tape measure out and take the stress off that? I'm lucky, right? So where can you outsource? Could somebody buy the food? Could somebody do the signage for you? Could people come and help you on the day? I've had flyers printed, several lots of flyers printed actually. I'd had flyers distributed, but I outsourced that. I paid a company to distribute the flyers throughout the city. So it's gonna in the end, it's gonna come down possibly to budget. Like, what's your budget for the open studio? Now, I've talked before in my previous video about reasons to reasons you might want to do an open studio that you can catch here. That you can do it starting from zero. You don't need to spend any money on opening up. I've just chosen to. This for me is kind of a launch of my art business here in Australia. So I've got my products ready on my Society 6 and Redbubble shop. Did you know that? I've got obviously my website live with all my work on it, my social media all streamlined and working, and now my first collection here for 2021. So there's quite a lot of things I've pulled together. So you might not be in that situation. You might just be, I'm just going to throw the studio open and join the trail, in which case you've likely got a lot of those things ready. I've even had products printed and there's in the house as well. Those of you who have joined me on Instagram will have seen that I've got variety of cushions, bags, notebooks, things with my artwork on. So super exciting. All right, so that's it really. Those are my 5 tips. Just a reminder of what they were again. Number 1, hang the work at least 2 weeks out. Number 2, get all the signage and paperwork done at least 1 week out. Number 3 is have that clear countdown list. So it might be a week to go, or it might just be 3 days or 48-hour countdown list. All those little tiny things, charge your point of sale item. Sometimes we forget that. What about the red dots? Who's ever done a show and forgotten the red dots? And somebody buys something and you think, oh my God, I was so organized, but you didn't remember the red dots. All right, so you really want to work through all the things. What are the things I'm gonna need out on display? I'm gonna need my mailing list, then I need my sign-up form, then I'm gonna need business cards or flyers, a pen, a guest book. So all these different things can go in that countdown list, reminder to get. Then always, tip number 4 is always allow more time. Like, I know I've got nothing much on the list for Friday apart from get the wine and the food out. I'm still going to be busy all day. I know that. There's going to be clearing and moving and sorting stuff and making sure the kitchen is clear and where the food's going to go, and it will still be a busy day. But if I hadn't done these items, it would have been a really stressful day, all right? We don't want to be doing that. And then last but not least, outsource where you can. Can you drag in friends and relations to help you? Have you asked for help? And if you've got a budget, what could you outsource professionally and pay to outsource? So there we go. Those are some preparation tips. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sophie's a little bit more tired than she normally is. Obviously, it's been pretty full on, but we're really pumped and we're really excited that this open studio is open at the point of this video. It's open, we're in the middle of it, and next week I'm going to do a debrief. How did the open studio go? What went well? What didn't go so well? And what were lessons learned? So that will be an open and honest sharing of how the open studio went. So don't forget to make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that. And if you love the content, give me a like, and please do leave us a comment. What are your top tips for getting ready for any show really, but particularly your artist open studio or artist open house? All right, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.